Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca Gardner, and welcome back to our last episode of Read Along With Me. So, for today's episode, we're going to be reading the last chapter. And last episode, we read 4 chapters. And in one of the chapters that we read last episode is where Melinda is trapped inside the closet with Andy, and she finally found Andy gets really upset with Melinda, and he starts to hurt her. And as he was hurting her, Melinda has finally found her voice when she screamed and said no to Andy. Like, that was a powerful and monumental moment for Melinda. Like, that, I think, would be the turning point in the story. So, like, I learned this in one of my college classes. So basically, Aristotle says that the turning point is like in the center, but it does not necessarily mean the middle. So, like, the turning point could be the beginning, it could be the beginning, it could be the middle, or the end. And I think this one is the big turning point, because that's when Melinda finally finds her voice and says no to Andy. So, for today's episode, we're gonna be so I'm not gonna get into the plot, but basically Melinda finishes her tree and she turns it into Mr. Freeman. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be reading today. And yeah, let's get reading. Mr. Freeman is refusing to hand his grades in on time. They should have been in 4 days before the end of school, but he didn't see the sense in that. So I'm staying after school on the very, very last day for one last try at getting my tree right. Mr. Freeman is covering the grade wall with a mural. He hasn't touched the line with my name, but he eliminated everything else with the roller brush and fast drying paint white. He hums as he mixes his palette. He wants to paint a sunrise. Summer vacation voices bubble through the open window. School is nearly over. The hall echoes with slamming doors and shrieks of, "I'm gonna miss you! Got my number?" I turn on the radio. My tree is definitely breathing. Little shallow breaths like it just shot up through the ground this morning. This one is not perfectly symmetrical. The bark is rough. I tried to make it look as if initials had been carved in it a long time ago. One of the lower branches is sick. If this tree really lives someplace, that branch better drop soon, so it doesn't kill the whole thing. Roots knob out of the ground, and the crown reaches for the sun, tall and healthy. The new growth is the best part. Lilac flows through the open windows with a few lazy bees. I carve and Mr. Freeman mixes orange and red to get the right shade of sun the shade of sunrise the right shade of sun rays. Tires squeals Tires squeal out of the parking lot. Another sober student farewell. I'm starting summer school in the face, so there's no real hurry, but I want to finish this tree. A couple of seniors stroll in. Mr. Freeman hugs them carefully, either because of the paint on him or because teachers hugging students can make for big trouble. I shake my bangs down in front of my face and watch through my hair. They chat about New York City, where the girls are going to college. Mr. Freeman writes down some phone numbers and names of restaurants. He says he has plenty of friends in Manhattan and that they should meet for brunch some Sunday. The women hop up and down and squeal, "I can't believe this is really happening!" One of them is Amber cheerleader. Go figure. The seniors look my way before they leave. One girl, not the cheerleader, nods her head and says, "Way to go. I hope you're okay." With hours left in the school year, I have suddenly become popular, thanks to the big mouths on the lacrosse team. Everybody knew what happened before sundown. Mom took me to the hospital to stitch up the cut on my hand. When we got home, there was a message on the machine from Rachel. She wants me to call her. My tree needs something. I walk over to the desk and take a piece of brown paper and a finger of chalk. Mr. Freeman talks about art galleries and I practice birds, little dashes of color on paper. It's awkward with the bandage on my hand, but I keep trying. I draw them without thinking. Flight, feather, wing. Water drips on the paper and the birds bloom in the light. Their feathers expanding promises. It's happened. There is no avoiding it, no forgetting, no running away, no running away or flying or burying or hiding. Andy Evans raped me in August when I was drunk and too young to know what was happening. It wasn't my fault. He hurt me. It wasn't my fault, and I'm not going to let it kill me. I can grow. I look at my homely sketch. It doesn't need anything. Even through the river in my eyes, I can see that. It isn't perfect, and that makes it just right. The last bell rings. Mr. Freeman comes to my table. "Time's up, Melinda. Are you ready?" I hand over the picture. He takes it in his hands and studies it. I sniff again and wipe my eyes on my arm. The bruises are vivid, but they will fade. "No crying in my studio. It ruins the supplies. Salt, saline, etches like acid." He sits on the stool next to me and hands back my tray. "You get an A+. You worked hard at this." He hands me the box of tissues. "You've been through a lot, haven't you?" The tears dissolve the last block of ice in my throat. I feel the frozen stillness melt down through the inside of me, dripping shards of ice that vanish in a puddle of sunlight in the stained floor. Words float up. Let me tell you about it. That was a really good book. I actually want to read you guys a poem that I wrote after I first read the book for the first time. And I wrote this while I was a senior in high school. And it's a short 3-stanza poem. It's called Melinda. So, Here it is. Melinda. She is a good person, but she doesn't speak. She is thoughtful, but she doesn't speak. She's a good friend, but all they know is that she doesn't speak. Everybody laughs at her because she doesn't speak. Everybody ridiculed her because she doesn't speak. Nobody cared about her because she doesn't speak. But it wasn't her fault because she was scared. Why didn't she tell anyone? Because she was scared. But now everybody knows. It was not her. It was him. So the reason why I titled this title Melinda is because Melinda is that one character that sticks out to me. I mean, of course she sticks out to me, and of course she sticks out to you guys because she is the main character, and a lot of main characters stand out. But she sticks out the most to me because I could relate to her a lot. And I've said this in an episode before, anyone can relate to Melinda. I relate to Melinda because I know how hard high school is, and I know how hard it is to make friends in high school. And I also know how hard it is to find your voice Like, if you think about it, anyone could relate to Melinda. Anyone who has depression could relate to Melinda. Anyone who has low self-esteem could relate to Melinda. People who struggle to find their voices could relate to Melinda. If you think about it, anybody can relate to Melinda no matter what circumstances. Like, you don't have to go through the exact situation that Melinda has gone through to relate to her. I mean, for those of you who have been raped before, I'm really sorry. And yeah, I'll bet that you could relate to her, but for the rest of us, we could relate to her because we know how hard life is, and how hard high school is, and how hard it is to make friends, and how hard it is to find our voice. So yeah. I think what we can learn from Melinda's story is we need to. So, if you have been raped, you need to tell someone about it. You can't keep it a secret. Let's think about Melinda for a moment. So, Melinda, so she hasn't told anybody until the end of the school year when she was able to tell Rachel. And if she just lets this situation haunt her. And there might be some of you guys who are like, I don't want anyone to know that this happened. I'm just gonna pretend that this doesn't happen. It's not gonna work that way. Because if you don't speak about it, it's gonna haunt you. It's gonna come back and haunt you. Okay, just like how it came back and haunted Melinda. Do not let this situation haunt you. And um and also um be getting help. Like, there is a lot of services that could help you get over this situation. But like, talk to someone that you know. Like, talk to a friend, or talk to your parent, talk to your teachers, talk to your counselors, talk to your therapist. Well, counselors are are basically therapists, but like, talk to someone. Talk to someone you know. Talk to a social worker. Because those people are going to help you through this situation. And also, and for those of you who have been raped, I am really sorry. I hope you made it through that situation okay, and I hope you've gotten the help that you need. That was not a fun situation to be in. That's like the worst thing that anyone could ever go through. And so for guys, if you really like girls and you're trying to, if you really like girls and you want to take things to the extreme, just remember, girls deserve respect. So like, if you come across a girl and you want to force yourself on them and they said no, you gotta accept it, because that's how you respect girls. I was actually reading an afterword from Jason Reynolds recently, and he was talking about this experience where he was at lunch with his mom, and his mom said to him, "Women are not furniture. They are people." And it also talks about the role men play for girls. And so, just remember, guys, anytime you like a girl, always, always, always treat them with respect. And also, if you know anybody who has gone through rape, talk to someone. Like, get them get them the help that they need. Because believe me, no one deserves that. Nobody deserves to be forced on by a guy. And the other thing that I want to say is that you have a voice, you have good things to say, and there are people who want to hear it. So don't be afraid to say anything that you want to say. I wish I could have learned that, but you know what? We all wish we could have known that. So remember, find your voice and use it. And that's what I wanted to say. That was a great episode. And that was a great season. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. If you do, give it a thumbs up and leave your request in the comments below. And if you guys want a season 2 of this series, let me know in the comments, and let me know what book you guys want me to read if you want a season 2. And make sure you subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so that you guys don't miss anything. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Remember to stay happy, stay safe, and stay cool. And I am off to the moon, and I will be back soon.